already made the holes, the vertical holes in our side pieces as described in the previous video. Here they are. Now we're going to drill some edge holes or some horizontal holes in the fixed shelf or the top and bottom of our small cabinet. So understanding that these are the same depth or width of finished piece, just different lengths. So remember the dimensions from our our surface holes or our vertical holes, said differently. So the center line of this hole and that hole, basically this row of holes and this row of holes, is 36 millimeters in the Y and 319 millimeters in the Y. So that's key to remember because we want our edge holes to correctly line up with our surface holes. So here is our edge. Remember, an orientation is handy to understand where the edge banding is at. So we're not going to use this icon. We are going to use this icon here that graphically represents drilling holes into these edges here, the left and right edges. It may seem confusing, but this icon here drills holes into the top and bottom edge of this diagram. So we're going to start here. Again, graphically representing the key here is X and Y. So the small dimension here, represented by the lowercase d, is the distance in which it is from the surface of, the distance it is from the center line of the edge. Remember, this is 19 millimeter material, 3/4 of an inch material. So we are going to change the, we're going to add holes to the left and right edges. It is an 8 millimeter wooden dowel hole, like we did in the previous example. So we're going to change our height, and height is in the Y direction. So we are going to say, remember, 36 millimeters, so that's from the edge in 36 millimeters. Again, you can adjust that up and down, as you can see here. So we're going to go back to 36 millimeters. These check boxes to where you can configure just left or right holes accordingly, but in this case we're going to put holes on both the left edge and the right edge. In this case we're going to drill it relatively deep. We're going to drill at 20 millimeters deep. If we notice, this is the representation of the drilled hole in the edge, and this is like the inside of the surface of the panel, where you can see that hole drilling in to the X dimension that way. So this isn't really a hole visible from the surface. This is like a hidden hole on the same center line of this edge hole. Remember, it defaults to a hole being in the center of the edge. If you change this, it will change the orientation away from the center line of the thickness of the panel. So you can see negative makes it go in the left direction. Positive makes it go to the right of center of the edge. Again, for simplistic purposes, it's much easier just to go off of the absolute center of the edge or thickness of the piece. So we're going to apply an advance there. Remember, so that's on 36 millimeters. We're going to add another one on 319 millimeters. If you can remember that from the previous side example, we're going to apply an advance on that and exit. So there are our holes, edge holes, that match up to, if we close this and go back to here, they match up to these surface holes or vertical holes for construction using 8mm wooden dowels. So essentially, that makes your box. You can add more holes for screws and things of that nature, but that makes this is the left and right side of your construction. This fixed shell for top and bottom. This is the top and bottom using a construction method of wooden dowels, 8mm wooden dowels.